very good afternoon and welcome along to the opening corner here at the Losail International Circuit in Qatar, the scene of what will be, as of tomorrow, the second and final official test in MotoGP, and of course the scene of the opening round of the 2020 World Championship in just under 2 weeks' time, the 8th of March, so make sure you've got that circled in your diary. Welcome along to what's going to be the 2020 launch for Aprilia Racing, and more importantly, what's going to be the launch of the RSGP 2020 after it officially broke cover just over 2 weeks ago at the first official test in Sepang. Over the next 15 minutes or so, we're going to speak to all of the runners and riders, and also we're joined by, of course, the Aprilia Racing family. But first of all, before we unveil the bikes, let's speak to what we can call the three wise men of Nuale, starting with Aprilia Racing CEO. I'll just pass the microphone across. Now, obviously, the winter break is often a time for relaxation, amongst other things, but I don't think that was the case for you at all, Massimo. Just tell us exactly what happened at the Italian factory over the winter months to produce what's going to be our 2020 contenders.
Hi to everybody. It was actually quite a big challenge. I think that having now 4 bikes here ready to test, ready to race, is something that we achieve, and we are quite, I would say, glad and to have it done. So big effort. Let's see what the track will say.
Thank you very much. I'll grab the microphone and pass it over. That was, of course, the CEO of Aprilia Racing, Massimo Rivola, on to the technical director, Romano Albesiano. A huge change of the 2020 bikes. We're talking engine, chassis, aerodynamics, amongst other things as well. Just talk us through what the biggest changes are and the work that went into producing what we're going to see, the 2020 RSGP.
Well, it's difficult to say which is the bigger change from the previous bike, because everything has changed. We started mid of 19 from scratch, and with a set of clear ideas, and we had a confirmation in Sepang that all the work that we had done in the winter was in the right direction.
Thank you very much indeed. Finally, we'll speak to the third of our wise men, the man just to my right-hand side, team manager Fausto Gresini. Given what the riders have said about the improvements of the bike from Malaysia, what are the targets going to be for the upcoming season now? Have they changed as a result of that?
All Aprilia Racing people are working very hard for a new project, and I think this bike is have a good potential for this season. Now he's working very hard, but I think he's have a good satisfaction for this year.
Thank you very much indeed. It looks as though after 2018 and 2019, there's a real mood of positivity about the Italian factory now. Moving into 2020, you might have seen at the official test in Malaysia that the bike had all of the names of all of these men and women around me on the bike as a thank you to them and all of the hard work that they put in over the winter months to produce what we're about to see, the 2020 RSGP. So without further ado, I think it's about time that we unveil the machines. To do that, we need the help of Aleix Espargaro, Andrea Iannone and Bradley Smith as well. So gentlemen, if you'd like to make your way further forward to each of your machines. Bradley, if you'd like to help out as well, and we'll officially pull the covers off the 2020 RSGP here in Qatar. So guys, as part of the photo opportunity, if you want to jump onto your bike, so Aleix on this one to left us. Andrea, if you'd like to jump on yours as well. And then the rest of the gentlemen that we spoke to, if you would like to make your way into the middle as part of the photo opportunity. So as you can see, not a huge change in terms of the colour scheme of the 2020 machine, but obviously the front end of the bike vastly different to what we saw from the 2019 one, amongst other things as well. So now let's speak to the riders, starting with Aleix Espargaro to my left-hand side. So Aleix, you've had the chance to ride it in Sepang, and I heard that you're actually quite emotional having had the chance to ride it with such improvements. Tell us about the 2020 machine and what your targets for the season are now, given the fact that you've had 3 days to ride it in Malaysia.
Yeah, so definitely has been a very positive start, because I was missing a big change since I arrived in Aprilia. I think we worked very, very hard, but we were missing something big. So for this season, the 2020 bike is completely a new bike. It's a big revolution. And from lap 1 in Malaysia, I felt that the bike has a lot more potential, because on the 19 spec I felt that I was in the limit, no way to go faster. But immediately on that bike I felt much better, much competitive. Obviously it was just one test. We still have a lot of work in front of us. Our rivals are very, very, very strong, and the level of the MotoGP class is very high. But I think it's going to be a fun year.
Are you as excited for this year as you have been for years previous? You've been in MotoGP a long time, but I'm sure the excitement for 2020 is maybe as high as it's ever been for you.
Yeah, I feel that I'm in the best shape of my career. I feel that I'm capable to fight for the podium. I'm riding better than ever in my career. But on the previous years, I was missing something. I was never competitive enough. We had a lot of problems with the bike. So I feel that with the 2020 bike, the package we have is a lot better. And I have a very, very good team. I will say one of the best teams I had in my career around me. A lot of good people, a lot of good technicians. So look like I have a good package around me. And yeah, again, it's going to be not easy, but I think I will have some fun.
Good luck. Thank you very much indeed. And I'll speak to Andrea Iannone. And Andrea, the work that's been done on the bike wasn't just over the winter break. It was throughout all of 2019 as well, with your input vital to that. How proud are you to see the improvements and the strides forward that Aprilia have made as a result of your hard work during last season?
So hi to everybody. I'm really proud about the work of Aprilia, of the factory, because so when I talk with Arish and also with Bradley, so say the bike is really good, improve a lot, and I'm really happy and really proud about this job. But in any case, for sure, I won't ride the bike very soon, so I hope. But I'm happy about the result. Now, from the beginning, I hope this test continue in good way, and so I'm confident.
Thank you very much, Andrea. And of course, the final man we need to speak to is Bradley Smith, test rider for Aprilia Racing. Bradley, you've seen the improvements that Aprilia have made right from the get-go at the Sepang shakedown. Where are the biggest strides forwards for you? Where have the biggest improvements been made compared to 2019?
Well, as Romano said, the focus was really in a lot of places, but basically having a balanced bike, and I know that that's a very vague area to say, but balance is crucial. These bikes are so much only, especially with two wheels, you're only on the front tyre, only on the rear, and we try and get the bike as balanced as possible, so you're using both tyres at the same point, and that's not easy to do. There's a lot of moving parts, but certainly was the focus. Happy that it was of benefit to everybody in Sepang, and obviously hope that continues here in Qatar. Also, last year was one of the first years that we really had a solid test team in Aprilia, and they're not here, but all of the work that they did back in Noale as well was crucial. So working away from all the cameras and you guys, but doing plenty of laps last season, and glad that that's had a positive impact here today.
I'm sure all the hard work hopefully will be paying off in just over 2 weeks' time at the Qatar Grand Prix. Thank you very much, Bradley. Now, before we say goodbye, it's important to see, as Bradley mentioned, all of the people not only here with us, the Aprilia Racing family, that have managed to put together this 2020 RSGP. Let's take a look at the hard work that's gone into action in the factory at Noale.
La Moto 2020 è una sfida molto ambiziosa perché è una moto completamente nuova. Il motore, l'elettronica, l'aerodinamica, la ciclistica. La cosa più bella è stata l'integrazione delle persone nuove con le persone storiche di Noale.
Il segreto della moto da corsa è l'integrazione tra le parti. È una caratteristica che Aprilia ha sempre avuto e che abbiamo mantenuto anche con i nuovi arrivi, con grande entusiasmo da parte di tutti.
Nuovo V ed è stato un cambio veramente grosso, un lavoro di gruppo e c'è della soddisfazione.
Ho portato il mio piccolo anche dei metodi di lavoro, delle esperienze. In questo caso l'ala ricorda qualcosa che si trova davanti in una Formula 1.
Il primo obiettivo che ci siamo posti è stato quello di mantenere il peso lavorando sull'affidabilità dei componenti. Il carbonio, a differenza di altri materiali, è molto versatile.
Quello che abbiamo modificato sull'architettura del motore ci ha permesso di spaziare su altri fronti anche sul tema delle layout della moto, delle rigidezze.
Affidabilità e performance, abbiamo lavorato un sacco su questi due punti che sono i punti cardine della MotoGP di oggi.
Il segreto delle squadre vincenti è quello di lavorare tutti in un'unica direzione per un unico obiettivo.
Well, thank you very much for joining us here in Qatar at the opening corner of the Losail International Circuit. As I said earlier, the second and final official test gets underway tomorrow all the way through to Monday, and then make sure you join us on March 8th for the opening round of the 2020 MotoGP World Championship, where we'll see these two machines on the grid, hopefully fighting for victory. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you over the test.